Yehi Ratzon, Parashat Behar 5779. Yehi Ratzon, the limud sheb'le refuat kol hacholim. ובתוכם טניה בת יהודה מרגלית, יוסף יאיר בן אביב חווה, הרב סיוון בן סימה, בתוך כל שאר חולי ישראל, ולעילוי נשמת איתן eliezer ben Mordechai. When we enter into Parashat Behar, we enter into the message of Shemitah. On a very basic level, Shemitah is that on every 7th year, we stop planting, we stop changing the land. We accept what there is. Very, very similar to Shabbat. We work for 6 days, and on the 7th, we accept reality as perfect. Just like for 6 years, we change reality, and we affect reality, and we plant things. Comes the year of Shemitah, and we accept, and we feel perfection. That's the similarity between Shemitah and Shabbat. The idea of Shemitah is to recognize that Hashem is involved in the land. To realize every 7 years that Hashem is involved in the land. But the Sfat Emet in the year 1888 is very bothered by the mitzvah of Shemitah. So true, maybe he didn't yet experience it, but he learned about it. And what he says to himself is like this: Hashem brought us to the land, and so we know that we came to the land. What is the need every 7 years to realize, again, Hashem gave us the land? It's sort of, if you do it like a mashal, someone gets married, 7 years later they want to realize they get married, they make another chuppah, the whole thing, $55,000, they buy all the flowers, they buy the cookies, 7 years later they do another wedding, 7 years they do another wedding. You got married. Every 7 years. So says this Sfat Emet, I don't understand what is the need for Shemitah. If it's all about, right, because what do we say? Ki tavou la'aretz asher ani noten lachem, v'shavta ha'aretz Shabbat la'Hashem. You come to the land that I gave to you, do the Shemitah so that you realize that I gave it to you. But if you gave it to us, you gave it to us. If you didn't give us, you didn't give it to us. What do we need the Shemitah for? So I had the bracha to learn this Sfat Emet together with the Rabbeinu Reb Ami Younger, to really try and understand, not that Shemitah is teaching us that Hashem gave us the land, but it's teaching us a new understanding of what it means to have the land. What does it mean? It says the Sfat Emet like this: V'zeh mitzvat ha-Shemitah shenitan libnei Yisrael haaretz mechadash. Says the Sfat Emet, you don't understand. The idea of Shemitah is not to recognize that Hashem gave us the land. It's to realize that Hashem is giving us the land. Not that Hashem brought us into the land in 1948 in our generation, or that He brought us in Yoshua's generation to the Gilgal. It's to realize that He's giving it to us again and again and again. Mechadash, mechadash, mechadash. You need to be in the land to realize not the concept of the land, but that being in the land is the awareness that Hashem is renewing the land all the time. What does this really mean? What does it really mean? I think that we have to understand what is renewal all about. So I had the opportunity, the zchut, to go on shlichut to Canada, to Toronto, to Or Chaim for 3 years. Came back. I saw Yerushalayim was all new. I went to Arnona. I lived there for 2 years, and I look at Arnona and it's all new buildings and new things. So I saw that things were new. But that's not the new of Shemitah. Because think about Shemitah. You're not allowed to make anything new. So the idea is that there's an idea of external new. That you can build a new building, and yes, everyone will know that it's new. But what does Shemitah teach you? That a real new is something that you could look at the same thing differently. It's not that you look at a new land or a new building. It's that you look at the same land with new eyes. It's that you look at the same story in Tanakh with a new perspective. It's that you learn with your child on Shabbat, but it's not like the Shabbat before. It's the same child. It's the same book. It's even the same Mishnah. But it's a new week. And so I'm looking at the same information that's externally not new, that it's internally new because I want it to be new. And that's Shemitah. Shemitah's message is that you need to be able to realize that what it means to renew a relationship is not to change it, but to have effort to see it from a different perspective. So yes, you'll learn Masechet Brachot, but when you learn in the 7th time, you know what it says on Daf Gimel. But are you willing to learn it in a way that makes you feel differently? And I think the Chidush of Shemitah is to realize that the goal of Shemitah is to understand that we have an obligation to realize that we need to change the way that we deal with the land on a daily basis. If you're walking in Yerushalayim on a daily basis in the old city, maybe walk slowly instead of walking fast. If you're walking into your home, maybe before you open the door, realize the privilege you have to walk into your home and then walk in. It's the same family. It's the same home. It's the same street. But if you did something differently, then it will make you feel differently. Yeah, we all daven 3 times a day. But maybe if you just for 5 seconds paused to think about the experience of today's tefillah, then the feeling will be new. And I think that that's what mitzvah Shemitah is. To start feeling different and not only doing different. It's easy to do new things. And that's a time that we live in, that everyone's looking for new things. Every time you give a shiur, I want a new idea, and a new idea, and a new idea. But can we say the same idea in a new way? Can we say it from a new perspective? It's the real hitchadshut. So B'ezrat Hashem, I give us all a bracha as we enter into Parshat Behar, and we're in the time of Sfirat Omer, and we're entering into Lag BaOmer, is that every day we make a bracha in Shemitah to realize that we need to change our perspective on each day. Every day has a different sphera, chesed shebachesed, chesed shebanetzach, different days. It's the same 24 hours, but can you look at it differently? We should be zochet to realize that the people that we're closest to are the people that we need to feel that we're renewing the relationship with them all the time. Shabbat Shalom.